Senior Trump campaign counsel Susie Wiles is making a pitch to doubtful Senate Republicans that previous President Trump will boost their candidates, debating the long-reigning Washington shrewdness that Trump may be an obligation for Republicans in Senate battlegrounds. Wiles highlighted surveying information in an assembly with Senate Republicans this week, appearing Trump driving President Biden in a few states that will choose future control of the Senate: Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, states that Biden won in 2020. In a few battlegrounds, Trump is surveying more favorably than the Senate Republican candidate, despite fears voiced by Senate Republicans prior within the cycle that Trump would not be competitive within the 2024 common race. One of Trump's early skeptics, Senator John Cornyn, R. Texas, sounded much more positive around Trump's chances of winning and having coattails in Senate races after hearing from Wiles. "It sounds like he's in lovely great shape. Clearly you do not take anything for allowed. Especially the battleground states where he is running most grounded are exceptionally great for our chances of picking up the Senate," Cornyn said after Wiles briefed GOP representatives at their yearly withdrawal at the Library of Congress. Senate Democrats presently hold a 51-49 larger part, and they're anticipated to lose the situate held by resigning Senator Joe Manchin, D. in deep red West Virginia. This implies Republicans have to be choose up, as it were one more situate to win back control of the Senate, unless they capture the White House in November, in which case they would control a 50-50 Senate since of the bad habit president's control to break tie votes. Cornyn utilized his savvy phone to drag up a list of surveying comes about in Senate battlegrounds that appear Trump beating Biden in states where Republicans are trusting to choose up Democratic-held seats: Arizona, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Cornyn said. He's up in each of those states. At that point, Cornyn ticked through the surveying midpoints in those states compiled by Genuine Clear Legislative Issues. A survey Thursday evening of the most recent surveying midpoints on Genuine Clear Legislative Issues appeared Trump driving Biden by a normal of 5.2 rate focuses in Arizona, by 3.5 focuses in Michigan, 21.5 focuses in Montana, 10 focuses in Ohio, 5.6 focuses in Nevada, 2/3 of a point in Pennsylvania, and 1 point in Wisconsin. Majority rule legislators hold seats in Montana, Ohio, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, and Sens. Kyrsten Sinema, I, and Debbie Stabenow, D, are retiring in Arizona and Michigan, giving Republicans easier pickup openings in those states. "So it's encouraging," Cornyn said. It's a more hopeful see than what Cornyn communicated final year when he addressed Trump's capacity to request to direct and swing voters sufficient to win a common race. Cornyn told Texas columnists in May that Trump's time has passed him by. "I think what's the foremost vital thing for me is that we have a candidate who can really win," he said. "I do not think President Trump gets it that once you run in a common decision, you have got to request to voters past your base," he said at the time. Streak forward to 2024, and those calculations show up to have changed. Within the between times, Trump cleared aside his competition to gotten to be the assumed GOP presidential chosen one. Cornyn is additionally presently running to be the another Senate GOP pioneer. Senate Republican pioneer Mitch McConnell, R-Tie, who is taking off his administration post after this Congress, faulted the net misfortune of a Republican Senate situate within the 2022 midterm election to the chaos and negativity that he and numerous of his colleagues thought Trump had brought to the national political scene after losing the 2020 presidential decision. Here's the issue. We failed to meet expectations among voters who did not like President Biden's execution, among independents and among direct Republicans, who looked at us and concluded there was as well much chaos, as well much negativity, and we turned off a part of these centrist voters, McConnell told reporters after Senate Republicans came absent baffled from the 2022 election. Senator Lindsey Graham, RSC, who gone to the withdrawal where GOP representatives listened the encouraging advance report from Trump's campaign, said opinions about Trump's political practicality are changing inside his conference. In all the states where we have overlays, he's really doing a small way better than our Senate candidates, so that's good, he said of the Senate battleground states, where Trump is beating Biden within the surveys. A Senate Republican strategist said Trump's survey numbers are undermining the long-held routine intelligence among a few Republicans that Trump would be kryptonite for their trusts of taking back the Senate in the event that he stands on the poll in 2024. I think those numbers are accurate, the strategist said of Trump's strong polls in Senate battlegrounds. I've continuously thought the ordinary shrewdness on that's continuously been off base. If anything, particularly in Rust Belt states, Trump really encompasses a one-of-a-kind hold on voters that conventional Republicans wouldn't, particularly in Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, the source said. Senator Thom Tillis, RANC, said Trump will be able to rev up Republican voters in certain zones of the country. These states are like fingerprints, they're all exceptionally diverse. I think he's super helpful in a few states and likely a push in other ones, said Tillis, who included that Trump made a difference with Republican turnout in his claimed 2020 Senate re-election race. The Democrats have a genuine turnout problem. They don't have an eager base, and one thing President Trump does is enthuse the base, he included. If that gets turnout on our side, that's all good. Indeed, in spite of the fact that the good faith almost trumps political offer is developing among GOP congresspersons, a few stay doubtful. Senator Lisa Murkowski, Alaska, who supported Nikki Haley within the Republican Presidential Essential and won't vote for Trump, said that the former president still turns off numerous voters, indeed whereas he may drive individuals to the surveys in a few states. I think that there are probably places in America where Trump's support and Trump's impact can make a contrast, but I think it too things the candidate that he will be backing, she said. Even in case you're in a state that's a heavily ready state and exceptionally pro-Trump, if you have a terrible candidate, we are able still lose. And I think there are some states where I think that Trump's bolster or support can really work against the Republican candidate, especially in those places where you've got ladies who are quite concerned, approximately a few of the regenerative well-being issues, she said. I do not think that we ought to make this cover articulation that his stamp of endorsement ensures that victory, she included. I think we have kind of a propensity to fair say, if you are a Republican and you get the underwriting of the Republican candidate, that's all you need. National Republican Senatorial Committee Chairman Steve Daines, Mont, has worked closely with Trump to control his support to candidates that Senate Republican leaders view as the foremost electable in battleground states, such as Tim Sheehy in Montana and previous Rep. Mike Rogers, in Michigan. Another Republican representative who asked namelessness said Biden is confronting the greater political headwind, and that is the foremost critical wind within the race. But the lawmaker cautioned that Trump is an exceedingly eccentric candidate whose performance may turn out to be exceedingly sporadic as the 2024 campaign season unfurls. The polls have been awfully off base in later elections, so I do not put too much confidence in surveys. They cruel something, but this campaign still includes a long way to go with a candidate who can do parts of things one wouldn't expect, the senator said.